Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another session of our Facebook Live. My name is Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, also with Art, Music, and Culture. And today is I believe it's our ninth week. 9 weeks of online art that we guide you through an assignment and continue that. We've been doing that, mid-March. I think right after the quarantine began, and we're still not open at the gallery. So we are continuing our music classes, art and music classes. So today's art, and number 9. So our 9th week. Time flies, guys. But before I get started, I want to this episode or today's live stream is dedicated to 2 individuals in the city of Long Beach who showed us with their example how to take care of our environment. So yesterday, as I was taking a break from work by the ocean, I see this man walk along with the little girl, and they start picking up trash, right? They kept doing it. They had this big bag, and so I just kind of, like from the car, recorded them a little bit and explained what they were doing. I shared the video, and it's been about 24 hours, and it's got like over 15,000 views, maybe more. So it's very inspirational to see this guy and his daughter. They weren't doing it for the video, for the likes. They didn't even know I recorded them. But the video kind of got a lot of views, like thousands of views. So I want to dedicate this session to the dad and the daughter. From the comments, it looks like the guy's name is Jonathan, or Johnny, and his little daughter, his little baby daughter is Jess. That's what I got, and so I just wanted to acknowledge those fellow fellow residents here, or they came to clean the beach yesterday. They didn't ask anybody for help. They just went on and did it with their mask and gloves. So great example is dedicated to the session of an art class today is dedicated to both of them. To Jonathan and Jess, great example, father and daughter. So today we will be doing like usually 2 assignments. We'll continue on one of our prior assignments, and hopefully we'll begin maybe about 5 or the second hour. We'll begin another assignment. I'm gonna try to attempt to do a painting in honor of the dad and daughter. So it's gonna be a little bit challenging because I'm gonna look at a monitor. So we'll see how it plays out. But in any case, we got more weeks to continue with the quarantine, and we'll be able to carry along. But you welcome to, these videos are for everyone, especially those folks that have no art experience. Grab your paints. While I'm gonna introduce or review our prior assignments, you welcome to get your setup, your color pencils, your crayons, your watercolors, so start getting all your materials ready out there, guys, and I'm just gonna go prior assignments, and you can start getting your material ready, so you can paint along. You're welcome to copy what we're doing, and or get an idea, or work on your own project if you want. Join us, comment on the stream. So I'm gonna usually I try to promote the link on other sites at the same time. So it looks like I'm a little bit distracted from talking to you guys out there, but I'm just trying to share the link so more folks can follow our live. I'm just trying to do that. So I'm gonna go over the projects. Try to go a little bit fast because this is kind of what we do all the time. We did the grid drawing, nice little drawing here. This was our first assignment. My choice of subject was a little bit difficult because of the shading, but I simplified in the next session with something much more simple. So go to number 1 episode, and you can see something simple like this that you can do on your own. Let me put this back here. So you can do this assignment. Just go to that one. Go to episode or video number one. Video number one, and you can see that. Let me share a couple of more links over here. Let's see. They might not be in the proper order, but I'm just gonna go over the assignments. We did this nice little landscape. You know, this one a lot of folks painted at home along. So this is something that similar to the project that we're doing, that currently doing. So you're welcome to you know, work on something similar like this. But I'll show you in a minute once I'm done introducing this art pieces. The next one, well, they're not in the right order, but this was another one of our projects, abstract an abstract painting. See, this is the right, yeah, it's the right side. So this is another one of our projects. All right, let's move it along. We can get started with our painting. So if you're at home, get your materials ready while I show the prior assignments. This was inspired by a mask here, kind of like just like a mask, a sun, you know, kind of like the sun face. So this one's actually, all these assignments I'm showing you, you can see how I made them from scratch, from the beginning to end. All right, so this was our next, or one of our prior assignments. This one was an urban theme letters. I chose love. You can also go to, you know, one of our prior episodes. This was done in one of our prior episodes. And it shows you step by step how to achieve this kind of like this look, you know. But don't worry, you can always create your own, you know. So this was another one of our prior assignments. I got one more to show you, actually a couple of more. This one was like kind of like a two, it was supposed to be a two artists or two people working on it, but because it's just me painting, it was a little bit more difficult. But if you follow the steps, I guide you through like the process of working with another person, and it could become challenging because folks are usually folks, you know, it's like two ideas, right? So two ideas are kind of fighting each other. So the idea is you make it work, you know, and it's like kind of like through the arts you find ways to work together with your child, with another peer. So you can also work by yourself, but this one is just follow the steps, and it's like a great you know, like a two people assignment, you know, or more. And finally, so we're going to continue working on our current assignment. As you can see, it's kind of like a landscape. It's kind of like a landscape theme, kind of like the other one we saw. I added more since the last video, and you can see here are like little ships, you know, little ships that are kind of floating around. You know, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're like in different distances. You can see the hot air balloons right here, and also the you know, this kind of like volcano mountain thing, different color style, you know, totally different color style than you know, than the other sunset or landscape, sunset, oceanscape, you know, however you want to call it. This was really fun. It's really fun to do. So we're gonna continue painting on this, and by about 5-ish, I'll try to start the new assignment from scratch. So follow along. If you wanna just work on the drawing part, you know, and make your own landscape, you're welcome to do so. Once again, this episode is dedicated to Johnny and Jess, dad and daughter, who were cleaning the beach yesterday, and I happened to see them. I made a little video of them, and it sort of went viral. It's still giving me a lot of notifications, you know, inspiring a lot of people, you know, like comments. The comments were like, oh, we should get our kids to do that. Like people were tagging other people to to copy what they were doing, and I just want to acknowledge them. So this episode is to acknowledge dad and daughter, Johnny and Jess. They were doing it just, just without like any incentive, I just happened to see them. I actually saw the dude as he passed by my car, and I said, hey brother, thank you. I just want to say thank you. And he just said, yeah, don't trip, like he wasn't even doing it for people to, like, he was doing it to teach his daughter and for the environment. So big shout out to them. We want to acknowledge you. So this episode is dedicated to both of you. All right, so if we can put our camera down here. So I'm gonna leave the painting like this for a little bit while can you see that? Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna start getting my palette ready. A couple of brushes, colors. All right, let's see. All right, very good. So this is our current painting, and my palette is like very light colors on the top, on the sky, and green. Even the green is a little bit light, like it has a little bit of a white paint. So let me get oh, by the way, here's other drawings I didn't show you. Actually, let me do that since I have that right here. So I'll just leave the camera there. I'll show the people out there. So this was a recycled paper that I showed last time, where we trimmed the edges and made it look nice and neat. So this paper was actually repurposed, and I made the letters of Cal with the red palette. You could do anything. I just didn't want to waste the paint because we had a lot of paint, or some paint left. So I just decided to do this sign for that says Cal, with instead of throwing away the color, to recycle not only the paper but the paint. So this one's just an example of how you can recycle and make cool things. Right, and then these are actually like color schemes that we did for one of the paper mache sculptures. This green, neon, and blue, and then this green and purple, pink, right? And I went. I'll show you the actual shark. I went with this palette. So this is done. Actually, you can put the camera up, so I'll just turn this slowly. So I just wanted to show you what that came out to look like. Here's a 3-dimensional shark. This was done by one of our students here, the actual sculpture. I just did the color painting. The shark was abandoned here. Hopefully the individual comes back, they can take their shark. I just did the color, but we can always prime it and have them give it their own. I just wanted to show you guys at home. There's another video where I did paper mache and show you the process of how to create something like this, something smaller or even larger. Anyway, so I just wanted to wrap up showing you this assignment. You can put the camera down here now. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually start painting now. Now that I showed you all the work that we've been doing. All right, so let me get my colors ready. Blue, red, yep, blue, red, orange, and yellow. I'm gonna try to avoid black, but we'll see how that goes. All right. So let me get my palette ready. Okay, let's start with the red. Actually, I'm gonna need white too, because I have an idea for that mountain. Have to add a little bit. I want to add highlights here to kind of make it seem like it's snow that's melting. You can see some of it here, but it's not clear. It's just kind of like it feels and it looks textury. But I want to define some white highlights. So we'll do that and see how that goes. All right. So, but I do want to add the details of the ships. If you are painting with acrylic paint and you get it on your person or your clothes, just make sure you wash it right away and it comes off. If you have an apron, that's probably a better idea. Acrylic paint comes off if you wash it right away. If you don't, it could be permanent, if you like a big, if you leave it there. All right, I'm gonna actually paint backwards because I'm just coloring so you can see I'm just gonna touch up some of the details for now. So these are like little ships, in the ocean. But they're not ordinary. They have this like three-part compartment, different colors. This is all from imagination, right? Remember we did from our prior episode, we talked about like this assignment was going to be straight from imagination. So that means we can add anything that we want. So I'm highlighting the red. While I have this red brush out, I'm going to highlight the red magma or fire. So there's a little bit of kind of magma red. It's red hot, right? And I never seen a volcano in real life, but I've seen it like in movies or documentaries. There's always this red, it's so hot, right? So the earth is hot underneath and it's always moving, right? So this volcano, it's active, it's alive. They say that there's islands forming in the Hawaii area or the Pacific, right? Or everywhere actually, and they're slowly rising. So there's new islands coming up. But as one of my professors said in my geography class, he says, don't make any reservations yet because it takes millions of years for them to form. So, but our planet is alive, and our planet was here before us, and it will probably be here after us, but doesn't mean that we have to neglect it, we have to take care of it, just like our the sample that was given to us by the father and daughter yesterday. We have to take care of our planet. Why? Because we live on it. It's like we don't have to trash it. We don't have to destroy it. So this whole episode is dedicated to them, and taking care of our environment. Do our little share. If you have a piece of trash, if there's no trash can near you, just hang on to it till you find one. It's not gonna kill you. It feels good to do something for the environment. It's it's something that that we should all do. And encourage our children to do. Take care of our environment, recycle. All that is good for our planet. We got to take care of it. Sometimes it's tough, I get it, but we got to do our best, right? We got to do our best to take care of our planet. Sometimes it's tough because, we have to drive sometimes, I guess there's other choices, but we drive, we pollute, when, carbon emissions, right? But there's, things are changing, so even air quality is better now with less people driving. Electric cars are coming on the scene. There's a lot of things changing, and let's just hope it's for the better. But we can all do our little share. If we teach our children good examples, they'll follow. They're smart. Sometimes children are, they know. they know what's good, you know, and if you show them, it reinforces that, you know. All right, so I'm just coloring in this. Let's see, this orange is a little bit too watery, but that's the paint we have here, so just been working with what I have. If you notice my other sunset, the colors were it was a little bit warm on the sky, but it was the ships were dark. They you know, they had a dark you know, they were actually gray, and it was odd. Like, I thought about it afterwards, but that was during like the first weeks of the shutdown, you know, so things were uncertain, and you know, our art usually portrays our environment, you know, so there's a couple of dark images there, you know, but there's hope, you know, the sunset, you know, you can look at it and analyze it in many ways, but that's another thing. That's when we do you know, when we try to figure out what an art piece is saying or what it means, you know, and I'll leave that up to you, you know. So I'm adding orange to the you know, to this magma flowing down, you know. It's kind of like fire. All right. So let me see. Oh, here's the white that let me try to touch up a little bit of let's see. This brush is a little bit too big, but I do need like a little bit of thick marks. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna try to avoid the colors so it stands out. Now this is tough because I already added orange and it's kind of blending, and I wanted the colors to. Shout out to Elizabeth watching us live. Shout out to everyone else that's watching us. All right. Still recording? Okay. Maybe it's my other computer here that's okay. I'm doing this out of the phone's data, so it may be a little bit. The connection may be interrupted, but hang in there, guys. Okay. All right. Let me add a little more white to the mountain. So if you're watching us, you can share the video, you know, so people can paint along. You can also watch it later, you know, watch now, you know, paint later, or whenever you want. These videos are made for that reason. This is our video number 9. So there's like a little bit of snow, right? Okay, so here's this mountain that's snow is kind of melting. Let's just give it a little bit of a kind of like snow that's fading. right? There you go. That's better. That gave it a little more of a textury look. All right, we'll leave that alone for now. Let's see what else can we do to this. So we enhance the color. The brown, let's see. This is almost done. Yeah, okay, so let's enhance the details on those ships. This is really hard to do. I need smaller brushes. I don't have tiny brushes here. So this is kind of like a little smudge. This ship and this balloon right here, that's really tough to do. You need really small brushes, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll just do the like the hints, you know, like you could, if your brush is not that small, don't worry. All you gotta do is do the kind of like the idea, like, and it'll stand out, like, because you know this is like a ship and this one's a ship, then your brain kind of fills in the blanks. But if you're to look at this alone, it's just like a bunch of little shapes. You probably won't be able to tell it's a ship. But because you see this one, and then this one, your brain makes up the difference. Like you know, can you zoom in a little bit? Yeah, okay, so. You can see that right there. Okay, good. So now that my daughter zoomed in the camera a little bit, you can see the, you know, the details a little better. And this, I need a really small brush to put the details on that. I don't have a small brush, and I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Just I'll touch it up a little bit, but as long as I know that I'm trying my best, you know, to give it the figure, or you know, to make it, you know, to make it look as best as possible. You know, it's not perfect, but like I said, your brain fills in the rest. That's a. And then another thing that happens in the distance, and that happens when we do look at things in real life that are farther away, they tend to look a little more blurry, right? So that's why this one, because it's farther away, your brain thinks, oh, it's blurry because it's farther away. But because you're watching this too, you're like, oh, it's one of them, and then it looks like it. All right, you can zoom out now, Yara. Just try to get most of this, because I'm just painting. There you go. You have a comment there? Yeah. All right, let me see, how do I get to my comments on here? Let's try this. Okay, there we go. So, who's watching us? Elizabeth nos está mirando. Saludos. Elisa Ledesma, hola. It looks good. Thank you, Elisa. Gracias, Elizabeth. Thank you. So, paint along, guys. You know, if you haven't started, just do a line, right? Like, do a line and make the sky and the water, right? Just start with the drawing if you're you know, and just start adding details, you know. This is a shape, you know, like a half circle. If you think about it, everything is shapes. Todos son ¿cómo se dice? Shapes. Shapes son figuras, como circles, círculos, cuadros, squares, triangles. So drawing shapes helps you draw things, right? So you just draw the shape, and when you draw the shape, it'll look like, you know, you know how to draw shapes, squares, circles, right? And then you start with that, and then after that you start, like, this is a triangle, right? This mountain right here is a triangle. You can see it. The sun is a half a circle, right? And the boats are like almost like a moon, like a section of a circle, right? Or a section of an oval. And then the hotter balloons, right? Circles. Everything is shapes. And that's one of the things that will help you with your future paintings. All right, let's see, a little bit of blue. So that blue, this blue, I don't know if it stands out. Maybe, yeah, with the highlight, that white, the highlight makes it stand out a little bit better. But it gets a little bit blurry right here. All right. Okay, I don't know what color to make the tops. So I think brown was our, yeah, so I think brown was our original. Because I had drew them kind of like Spanish tiles or you know, not tiles, but like the Spanish decor on those houses. It was kind of like that, but it's not exactly. So we'll see how that comes out. Let me just mix up a few more colors. All right, this might work. So I'm making this brownish, orangey, reddish. Just put orange, red, and blue. Actually, let me show you guys. Can you see that? Figuras geométricas. Yes, sí, Elisa. Las figuras geométricas ayudan a dibujar. Como mira uno, sí, así se dice, geometric figures, yeah. Geometric shapes, circles, rectangles. Okay, so this is my palette. So I put orange, red, and blue. And I got this brown, and I wanted this brown, and I'm glad I got it. So this brown's gonna be, I'm gonna turn this around so I can actually see. So you're gonna look at this backwards for a little bit, but I need to see it because part of this painting is gonna be part of the, you know, the drawing of the ceiling. Okay, so let's see. Como que el techo de estos castillitos es café. The ceiling of this like miniature castles. It's like this brownish. There you go. And they don't have to be perfect. I don't have smaller brushes to get into the really good details. But you know what? I don't care about that because I can make it look like that just with the general, you know, the general drawing. Like here's a triangle, another triangle. So if you just joining us, this episode is dedicated to a dad and a daughter. I saw yesterday cleaning the beach. Jonathan and Jess is their name from the people that commented on our video. Later on you can watch the video. Una papá y una niña que están limpiando la playa. Y los grabé de pura casualidad, estaba ahí yo. And I happened to be there, so I recorded them, and it got a lot of views. And this episode is dedicated to them for showing us a good example, you know, to take care of the environment, you know. All right, let's see. So I think it's looking pretty cool. The smaller parts are really hard to draw. Like this brush is not helping me. But I'm just gonna do my best here. The flag, what color should I do the flag? Any ideas out there? Yellow maybe? Yeah, so it could stand out. So let me get this bright. Should I have this yellow, and then I have another one that's like green, with the green. Oh, this is bright yellow. Let's see. I don't even know if this works. We get a lot of, you know, some materials are donated. So some of them are, you know, They kind of work. Some of them, let's see. It says bright 3D paint. I'm wondering if it's acrylic. Well, we'll have to find out, right? All right. Let's see. All right. Ooh, super old. See, so when paint gets old, it gets like chalky. You see that right here? So it's a good idea to use your paint. This is old. I just have to mix it with water. I don't think this is gonna work for me. Well, let's see what happens when I dilute it with water. So you can see, oh, it's kind of, I just have to add water and diluting it. But I wanted it to be like fluid without adding water, because when you add water, you make it more transparent. The paint becomes like see-through, and I wanted something dark to cover that. Maybe I'll use the other paint, but I want to take advantage of it. So we're just grateful that, you know, this material is not like, you know, it's not perfect, but we're still grateful, you know, because it didn't go to waste. It didn't go to the trash can. It didn't go, you know, to a landfill. You know, like we're actually using these bottles of paint, you know, as much as possible. So I'm gonna put paint this like green. Yeah, the colors. Maybe I'll add a little bit of white, because it's not looking. It's not too bright. It's kind of like transparent, and I don't want that. I want it to be bright. You know, it's a flag that's showing you, you know, like this. That needs to stand out, you know. And I should have did the waviness on the flags, but maybe I can still manipulate the drawing with the paint. I don't know. We'll find out. Sorta. Yeah, this is not helping me, but no, it doesn't look that bad. Actually, you know what? It kind of looks wavy, right? Okay, there you go. Not bad, actually. So should I put them all yellow? Sure. Let's see what happens. Remember, we're experimenting. We're you know, making things up. So there's no right or wrong answer, right? There's no right or wrong answer. All right, let's see. So I mixed up a little bit of green to touch up these little towers right here. All right. All right, let's see. This green has a little bit of white, so it looks a little bit pasty, but it's working for like to give a variation to these little structures. I'm just covering like parts of it to give it a, there you go. All right. Let me turn it around so you can see. Put the camera down there. There you go. All got a few more minutes before we try to attempt to do another drawing. The other drawing is going to be a challenge because we're going to try to do something realistic. But that's all right. We have this week and a lot of more weeks, you know, maybe, hopefully not that many for the quarantine, but we still have to follow orders. We're in phase 2 of the quarantine, so our classes are not going to be open until we're clear as far as like, there may be particular rules as to how we're going to have people here. We may be able to have people, but we have to know what the rules are, and we don't know at the moment, so we're not open. And follow us on our Facebook page, and we'll give you updates as to, you know, our opening. All right, so let's see. I don't want to mess with the sky too much, but let's see. A little light highlight to the sun. All right, there you go. Maybe the same. Highlight some of this, like a little outline. Stretch the paint. There you go. You see a little bit of the yellow now standing out. And there's red. So the sky is red and yellow. Kind of like a pinkish, like a pink red. Right. All right. Now it's time to color in the hot air balloons. All right, this idea of the rainbow came about because I was showing you my daughter's drawings from when she was smaller, and she gravitated towards the rainbow colors, you know, and I wanted to get inspired with that, so that's why I chose that. You know, she's helping me with the camera work, so, you know, so I'm getting inspired from her work. Okay, let's see. See this yellow. So I'm kind of like highlighting this color. No, like kind of going over, putting another layer of color. That's kind of what I'm doing here. All right, time to clean up my water. Let's get a different. See how this water, let me just bring it. See how this water's already muddy? So what you want to do is change the water, you know, new, you know, just get rid of that, and you get clean water, you know. That'll help your brushes keep from getting muddy. Changing the water, cleaning the brushes. There's a technique that you want to use, you know, you want to use too. And if your palette gets too muddy, like mine, you know, keep it, but you can always use another palette to have a clean color, which I'm actually going to get a green. You don't have to use two palettes. You can just clean with the one you have as you go along, or try to stay with certain areas. I just do a lot of changes, so I need a lot of room, I guess. These are palettes that are designed for like smaller drawings. All right, so let's highlight this green hot air balloon. There you go. All right, that's not bad. See, this green is different than the green I was using there. This one's lighter. It's more of a lime type of green. So I can actually use this one to go over. Yep, actually looking pretty good. Patience, Let's keep working, Remember, if worst comes to worst, you can paint over things, Have another comment, Johanna. Hello, Johanna. Johanna is another Cultural Alliance member. You are terrific. I share this live video with my friends who have kids. Thank you, Johanna. Thank you, Johanna. We actually have 9 videos with this one. This is our 9th video. And the great thing about doing it this way with the live stream on Facebook is that the video remains. So it's not like once we hang up or cut off the transmission, it's not like it's over. You can go and review the videos. And they're great because you can rewind, pause. Right now I'm transmitting live, but once the video's done, you can rewind it, pause it, fast forward, put mute on the commentary so you don't hear me rambling. And you can put music, Usually I put music when I paint for me, but if I put music, Facebook is gonna cut off the transmission. Facebook will just cut off the live transmission like right there and then, and that doesn't help. Doesn't help for this. So I just decided to have no music in the background, and decided to talk along. I try to explain what I'm doing, but sometimes I just get carried away with the subject matter or the ideas. And it's all right, because it's part of the process. All right, so we have, let's see. This is a very colorful palette, Very colorful palette. Actually, that brown that I did, when you mix colors, don't clean them out the palette right away. Leave them under, because you're gonna use those for other, this brown that I made for to do the top of the little castles. I'm gonna use that brown to fill in this basket of this hot air balloon. And you may have to do more layers, depending on the quality or the type of paint you're using. But mine has a lot of water, so it's probably gonna stay a little longer. I mean, it's gonna take a little longer to dry. This black is Sharpie. I use Sharpie for that one because my initial drawing was Sharpie. You can actually see when I drew this in one of my live feeds. I'll try to share it. this type of videos are not edited. So they're not like your typical YouTube video where like you see somebody painting really fast and this is, you got to watch the whole thing. I mean, you don't have to, but like if you watch live, you go through the whole thing, and you can actually see the process. So this brown is darker than that one, and I'm gonna okay, so I'm gonna turn it so I can see it, because I'm gonna work on the light for the shadows, and that is very important to. So the sun is coming from the front, right? That means that that my ships are gonna be darker at the bottom. Like they're gonna be darker right here, just a little bit. You always want to put shadows on the opposite, like darker shadows on the opposite of the objects, of the side, on the opposite of the side of the objects. I guess the opposite side of the sun. The sun's on that side, so everything that like this side is gonna be lighter. And you know what? Actually, maybe I can show that. R. Martinez has joined. Shout out to R. Martinez. It's R. Martinez is artist, and he's got a whole lot of things that he does, like sculptures, inventions. Like he's just amazing. Anyway, shout out to Art Martinez, and shout out to Johanna. Shout out to Elisa, Elizabeth Gonzalez, and Elisa Ledesma. Man, I'm getting a whole lot of notifications about the father and daughter that were cleaning the beach yesterday. That video is literally going viral as we speak, because it's inspiring people, and this episode is dedicated to them for doing what they were doing yesterday. And I'm sure it's not the first time they've done it. They didn't have a camera crew with them or anybody. They didn't do it for the likes, or they didn't do it for the, they didn't do it for the likes or for the camera. Jonathan and his daughter Jess were cleaning the beach yesterday. I recorded them for a little bit, and the video's going viral because it's inspiring people, to do things without like wanting something in return, just to take care of our planet. That's what these videos are free for everybody, and this one's dedicated to them. Johanna, that beach video, okay kid and dad, was inspiring and so wonderful to see it. Thank you, Johanna. Maybe Art will consider doing an art class on live video. There you go, Art. Let us know if you want to teach anything online. We could probably coordinate. Something. Anybody that's that's an artist that wants to do something, let me know. We just have to coordinate. I do. Our format is Facebook Live, because we can review things back, and and it reaches more folks. And I'm coming from the perspective of inspiring people, and like maybe the people that this video is inspiring are people that are watching now, and maybe there are people that are going to watch later. So the energy of inspiration continues beyond the transmission. All right. That sounded like something technical from outer space. I love the Pride Rainbow you're doing now. They're actually, so the color scheme is rainbow for some of the objects. This is a hot air balloon that has that. And these are individual towers, right? And these are individual balloons. So yeah, colors are universal, right? Like it's inclusion, it's everything, There's volcano here. the flames, they kind of look cartoonish, you know, but the whole thing looks cartoonish. So, hey, you know, I do like the sunset. I mean, you know, it's in progress, right? So maybe I should just like stop criticizing the. Yeah, I tend to just kind of stop and talk about the work and. But let me focus and focus. Okay. Paint along, guys. Wow, that stays like Star Trek. There you go. Johanna's keeping our live chat. Thank you, Johanna, for making us company and you know, helping the dialogue here. It's kind of nice to have people commenting because it keeps the, you know, it's kind of like interactive, you know. The live conference is great too, but this format I like it because you see, I'm a visual person. Like I see on my computer here, and I see a lot of the colors, like a lot of the colors, and yeah, I see a lot of the colors like really bright, and that serves the purpose of the visual arts. For the visual arts, you need good visuals, right? So that's the thing. All right, so I don't know what else to put besides just keep on working on the details. So it's already 5. Helper. Okay, so we have. I'm reading here some of the comments. So shout out to Elisa Ledesma, Elizabeth, la señora Liz González, Johanna, R. Martinez, and you know, everyone else that's watching. Now, the next project, actually, I didn't prepare the canvas because I have some canvas I'm gonna recycle, and I didn't prime them prior to this. So the next hour was going to be a drawing. Might as well announce that it was going to be and it is going to be a drawing of and painting to honor you know, the dad and the daughter. So it's going to be a painting of them. But I'm going to have to start that next week because I need a canvas, a nice canvas, to make a nice drawing and then make a nice painting. So in the meantime, I'll work on this. And at least I made the announcement that that's the plan. I have canvases that I need to prime or just kind of basically paint over. So I can reuse. All right, we haven't bought any new material. Michael's is only taking online orders, and we're just going to recycle the ones we have of older works. Those are my personal canvases I'm going to recycle. But for the gallery, we'll accept any donations as far as material, canvases that you're not using. You can drop them off. Just send me a message there. And, you know, whatever you're not using, I can just paint over, you know, and it'll keep our classes going. So with that being said, I'm just going to focus on this painting. And next week I'll start the drawing. It's going to be nice because there's one of the oil, when you look at the video of the dad and daughter, there's the oil island in the background. And those are very colorful at night, so they create great reflections. Although they were in the daylight, I can manipulate the colors, but I do want to do that in their honor. Even though this episode's to honor them, we're going to continue that idea next time. But I do want to prepare a nice canvas, or at least a nice recycled canvas for that, you know. So if you want to see that, you need to come back, right? And you can do that too if you want. I mean, the idea is just for everyone to use. The video's there. You can just like freeze the video, take a screenshot, and work from that image, you know. And that's similar to this, right? There's the water, the sky. There's an island over there, you know, so it's very similar to what we've been doing. So that's gonna look pretty cool, I think, and it'll, you know, it'll help us to, you know, like they're inspiring us, you know, to care for our ocean, to care for other people. That's what this whole videos are about, you know. We're doing this to continue our mission here with the arts education. Maybe a dolphin. All right, yeah, huh? Like I thought about putting, but you know, that's just a theme in my paintings. There's no people, right? Or it's just like objects and, you know, kind of like nature and like objects, right? Or you know, vehicles of transportation. The other one has a couple of birds. See, for a dolphin, I would probably have to look at a source. I kind of know what they look like, you know, big head and kind of like a, you know, their mouth area is kind of pointing a little bit. You know, I would have to look at a source for that, to be honest with you. If I do it from memory, it may look like it may not. But I'll consider that. Yeah, maybe for the next one, let's see, maybe a dolphin. Yeah, they say dolphins are very smart, huh? They say they have you know, very, like, dolphins are smart. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of animals are smart, right? We're smart, right? We're part of the animal kingdom, right? So, you know, animals are very smart, you know, right? All right, so let's see. Let me see if I can find a super tiny brush. All right, see Johanna. Johanna made a comment on the video. It says on the video of the dad and daughter, "This two, dad and daughter, are so inspiring and make me happy to see humankind is showing its spirit by these two sweet folks doing good. I will be like them. I will be like them. Do the same." Yes, in fact, you know, a lot of folks are commenting that they're gonna do that with their kids, and you know, I might just do that too. Actually, I told my daughter if she wanted to do that, and she's kind of happy about that, you know. So you can actually go to the beach, guys. Like, the beach is open. Like, I don't know if you can get in the water. There's lifeguards. I would just ask them if you want to go on the water. You gotta ask the lifeguard just to play it safe. If but don't worry, like, but you can walk. You know, you can walk as long as you're not like, you know, hanging out with other folks. If you're hanging out with people in your family, like me and my daughter, if we're together, like, that's okay. Just wear your mask and you go to the beach. You know, you can clean up. Wear some gloves. Take a trash bag. Just pick up, you know, fill up a bag, and that's it. You know. Do it, or if you want to do two, you know, like, it'll teach, it'll help you teach your child something, and it'll make you feel great, you know. If you don't have a child, you can still do it, you know. You might inspire other folks around there. There's actually some folks that have been doing that for years. Like, there's a group of people that go clean the beach in Long Beach, you know. But there's folks like that everywhere, right? You know, there's folks like that everywhere. But this was, you know, an example of, you know, yeah, there's a lot of folks who don't care for the environment. But you know what? They probably don't know, you know, they don't care because they don't know the story, like how it affects, like you know, education's needed, you know, like we have to keep educating people, you know. Like, when people don't know something is bad, or if they know but they don't see it, like, you know, it's kind of tough, you know. So it's our jobs to inspire other humans, you know. How do you do that? Through art, through music, you know, volunteer, you know. All right. So this video is just gonna be this painting, guys. If you are, if you're watching, you could probably copy the drawing. It's pretty simple. You can put a line in the middle, half a circle for the sun. Everything is shapes, triangle, semicircles, rectangles, triangles, right? This is all shapes. Figuras geométricas. Figuras geométricas. Geometric figures. Geometric shapes. Figuras geométricas. Thank you, Elisa, for the translation. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, let me just I'm going to get a dry brush. And I'm going to add, let's see. This might work. Well, let's see. Yeah, this one. So I'm going to get a dry brush. And I'm going to put white. Put white straight up as highlights. So can you, let's zoom the camera in a little more. I know the image is slanted. Let's see which part is slanted. Okay, so this part needs to, okay, that should look better, right? Can you zoom in a little bit? How is that better? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put plain white as part of the highlights. So I'm gonna do a few highlights. I don't know if I'm gonna do too many. Okay, so I'm gonna do, we'll see okay, well, let's see what happens. Let's just add a few highlights. Basically a few lines of white. That's all you're adding. And you gotta clean your brush because it picked up a little bit of the prior colors. So. Okay, so if it picks up a little bit of the color, just clean it like I just did. There you go, a little bit of a highlight. Let's see. I think I did too much, but it's all right. That one I did too much, but it's all right. Just a few touches, right? Like even right here, There you go. There you go. Maybe a little bit of a highlight on the flag. So basically this white acts as a highlight. Kind of like light reflecting off, Clean that up a little bit. It's too much. There you go. So I just basically wiped off with the rag where I had put too much. Okay, let me add a little bit of a highlight to the other one. There you go. There you go. And this highlight could be reflection from the water onto the ship itself. Actually, I have a little bit of this brown. I'm covering the shadows. Put a little bit of color there. There you go. All right. Let's see. A little bit of a highlight right here. There you go. Maybe another highlight here. There you go. All right, I like this. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Let me see if I can find the yellow that goes for that. It's a particular yellow that's chalky. Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one right here. It's kind of like this white yellow, you know. Maybe I can make some. Actually, I'm going to use the remaining of this. There you go. Make that yellow kind of run a little bit down. Make it seem like the magma is like spilling out, you know. There you go. How's that? How does that look? All right, so I think I'm gonna let it dry. I think I'm gonna let it dry. Right now I'm just touching up some of the details. Some of the, just kind of going over. Let's see. Actually, there you go. So I'm coloring the inside of the ships. It's a little bit darker because this is the interior part of the these little boats, right? So next week we'll start a new drawing. We'll start on the one that I mentioned to honor the father and child and daughter, to, you know, for their great example. We'll do one in their, you know, inspired by them. But once again, this video is dedicated to the father and daughter who were cleaning up the beach yesterday. By the way, they didn't do it for any recognition. I just happened to record it, and I want to recognize them, you know. Let them know that they are inspiring a lot of people, that their actions didn't go unnoticed. Their actions were noticed not only by the folks who were there, but by like the folks who watched them on the video, you know. Not only is he showing his daughter a great example, you know, but he's also caring for the environment. So shout out to both of them, you know, for what they did. And I'm sure it's not the first time they've done that. So we want to, you know, we want to dedicate this transmission to them. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a music guided practice starting at noon, 12 to. It's usually about 45 minutes, so I'll start somewhere after noon, and I'll carry on for maybe about an hour or so. So 12 to 1 or maybe 12:30, but the time frame is noon to 2. So if you want to learn music or learn a few practice exercises, you can join the live feed, you know. If not, you can just watch the videos over and over, and you can do that as well. Anyways, folks, I think this is it for now. I'm just gonna clean up. I keep looking at this painting, and I don't want to ruin. I can do little details, but sometimes you need to step back and paint. You know, like paint. You know, step back, look at it, and paint, and see what's standing out. What areas need more attention. You know. So it's a good idea to stop and work on another painting and then come back. and then it'll give you time to look at this and see what you're doing, what can you improve. So right now I'm just like adding color, you know, kind of highlighting some of the details. You have to be careful not to get too carried away and lose the drawing, because that's one of the dangers, like, of not knowing when to stop. You just keep adding, and then you end up losing the drawing, right? So that's one of the things you want to be careful, you know. So I think at this moment I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop with the, but I'll leave it here for you can look at a little while. How's that? Got a good angle? Should I set it flat on the table? Probably. Just do that. Oh, not bad. So now we have like an entire scene, huh? I did think about like maybe adding something here, you know, because compositionally it goes like this, right? Like there's action happening from the ship to the smaller ships, and then it continues on with the volcano and the hot air balloons. And then over here, what's nice about this part is that this whole area, this entire area is blank, right? So it kind of works as a big shape that competes with all this BC-ness over here. So it's BC, not BC, right? So it's kind of like a contradiction kind of thing. So I thought about adding something here, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks nice as a composition, right? It moves you from the foreground. So here's a few vocabulary terms. Thank you, Johanna. Johanna says, I'm loving it. Elisa says, thanks. So here's a few vocabulary terms for those of you that are looking to learn, you know, art. So this is the foreground, right? The middle ground, right? The background, the horizon line, right? We got shadows, we got highlights, we have color. Primary colors are red, secondary colors are orange. Blue is a primary color. Green is a secondary color. So secondary color means you can mix them. You can make them out of two colors. Primary colors cannot be made with any other color. That's why they're called primary. So we have yellow, that's primary. We have red, that's primary. And we have blue, that's primary. And with those three colors, we can make orange. If we mix yellow and red, we can make green if you mix yellow and blue. You can make purple if you add blue and red. My daughter's over here whispering to me, you know. Of course I know, I just, you know, just kind of like forgot there for a half a second. And then if you add white, that's something different. You add, you know, you kind of like, there's a term for that, value, right? Value means dark and light, right? Value is like dark, and then there's value. Contrast is like, you know, complete dark and light, you know. Anyway, so a few vocabulary terms there. Kind of cool, huh? The flames look a little cartoonish. I wanted to fix them up a little bit, but the whole thing is from imagination, so hey, it's okay. I was gonna add like blue flames, but blue flames are more of like gas, like burning gas, right? Like when you turn on your stove, it's blue, right? It's not like red. I mean, maybe you might see red, but it's rare. I mean, you see red on the flames from the barbecue grill, but like blue fire is usually gas, right? So I didn't want this to seem like not as, you know, I wanted to seem even though it's from imagination, I wanted to have a feeling of like reality in some form, you know, in some form. The colors in sunset and composition are perfect. Thank you, Johanna. Thank you, Johanna. And yeah, this one was kind of like a takeoff on. Right now, I'm just gonna chat, guys. So this one right here. Let me see. Yeah, this one right here. You see the difference? This was more. It's clean in the sense that there's less action going on. But you know, here's a sunset. This one's kind of weird in the sense that, you know, everything's colorful, but you look at the mountain. Right, let's put this over here. Yeah. So you look at the mountain. Actually, I think it's this way, right? Yeah, we got more room over here. Okay, good. So the mountain is gray, it's dark, right? It's dark. You know, the ships, they're dark. Right? The ships are dark. And the idea was to make, this was from imagination too, so it's not perfect. They're supposed to be sail ships, but like when I did the drawing, there was like, the sail was not, there's like holes on the sails. So these sails are not like your natural sails. They're more of these are different ships. You know, they may not even run with wind. In fact, there doesn't seem to be a lot of wind in this picture. You know, the sails, they're not necessarily sails. They're more of a three-dimensional shapes. Here's a couple of animals, you know, like flying birds. I did this to illustrate like what we call diminution. Diminution is a term for art when objects get smaller in the distance. So there's an example of diminution. Another example of diminution right here with all this this ships, you know. But they're dark, right? And I don't know. I just thought that it was interesting to create like some kind of you know, something to have a dialogue about, right? Like, why are the ships dark? Why are the birds dark? It was just my own internal take. I mean, you know, like I said, you could color yours however you want, but this was my composition, my colors. You could choose different colors. I chose black. You know, it was. So to be honest, this was like I think the second week of the shutdown. So things seem dark, you know. Things seem dark and lonely. So we have a dark earth, you know, this dark birds that are in film. Dark birds the dark birds are kind of like symbolism. There you go. That's the term, symbolism. This is more like in film, right? But there's color, so there's hope. You know, it's like kind of like dark versus light forces, and there's a battle going on. But there's hope. You know. Anyways, that's just something that I was really worried. Like in March, I honestly, like, you couldn't sleep. It was, you know, and you know, just kind of worried about the whole situation, you know. And as time went by, you know, I noticed that a lot of us, we're adapting, you know, like our children are adapting to school. We're you know, I'm doing the online classes to help folks, and we keep going, right? So, and that's what this symbolizes for me. Freedom, art is freedom. And you know, so here you go. We get to this colorful palette, right? You see the difference? So we go from this, there was a little bit of hope over there, now there's a lot more, right? So the idea is never to give up, you know, to include everybody, you know. Even the volcanoes are birth, they symbolize birth of land, right? Like our whole planet's made of, like, you know, like our land is made of volcanoes, right? The volcanoes, the volcano ash has nutrients for the soil that over the time it fertilizes the land. Like, you know, it's not immediately, but like, you know, our planet's been around forever, and it's gonna keep You know, it's gonna keep moving. You know. Anyway, so this is my comment, guys. Keep working. I'm gonna clean up and let you guys keep working. I finished a little bit early. I didn't start the project I wanted to. I need to prepare a canvas to make. I made the announcement already. I'm gonna make a painting. It's gonna be similar to the ones I showed you. There's gonna be a horizon. There's gonna be the little oil lamps that you see on the video, and there's gonna be the water, the sand, and then the dad and the daughter, right? That's gonna be the idea, and they inspire me to keep painting, and I'm gonna honor them in that way. This video is dedicated to them, and I'm gonna do another video or another guided class to do something like that. Look at the video, guys, and if you wanna do the same assignment, you're welcome to. Follow along. You know, it's just gonna be a composition. Here, the water, the island. The island's interesting because he has trees, so that's gonna be nice. He has trees. He has structures. And look at the video. You see the island on the background. There's the water that's green. The sand that's like, you know, this beige color. The sky that's blue. We can change the colors a little bit, you know, and make it look more of our own. That's gonna be really fun. That's gonna be really fun. So I look forward to next week, guys. Bring a canvas if you can, or if you don't have a canvas, paper's fine, color pencils, you know, whatever material you have. So we're gonna do a landscape. What's gonna be a cityscape? Ocean scape. You know, instead of the sun, it's gonna be an island right here, like the oil island that's right here. The water, the sand, and the daughter and dad picking up the trash, and that's gonna be our inspiration. And I'll leave you with that, guys. Efren Luna. My name is Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. We're a nonprofit organization here in Long Beach, dedicated to showcasing art, and music and cultural events, and you know, educational arts and music education, you know, to the community. We continue doing that via live streams. So this is our 9th episode, so you can watch the other ones. I'm also with Art, Music, and Culture. That's right here. That's where I posted the video for the you know, for the example of cleaning our oceans by Jonathan and his daughter Jess. Thank you guys for watching. Efren Luna checking out. Have a great weekend.